Hello, everyone. Cindy Drozda here. I'm in my shop in Erie, Colorado, and here is what Erie looks like today. This is my Tool Talk Live. Let me get rid of that. Okay, you all know who I am and where I am. Nice to see you all here. Really, really nice to have good friends and good company. And yeah, we've got people from all over the world here. Oh, we got Paul Howard, our good friend from across the pond, and Todd, who Paul is saying hello to. Todd also does streams like this, and Bob from Philly, and Gary from somewhere around there. Lowell, yeah, SWAT. We'll talk about that too. That's one of the things I've got on my mind is SWAT. Oh, yes. Good friends joining from all over the place. David from up in the Pacific Northwest and Michael from Canada, who we saw just a few days ago at SWAT. Really great stuff. Yeah. Hello, Bob. Good to have y'all here. And oh, KK is here. Good deal. Nice to see everyone here. Nice to see you all here. Where was that? Oh, the comments are coming in, and I'm not keeping up with them that well. Yeah, okay. So Frank was at SWAT. Frank, right here. Good to see you back here. And a friend from long ago, Temple Blackwood. Nice to have you here. You were elsewhere when I saw you many years ago. OB is here. Another one we saw at SWAT. Where did he go? There is OB. Good to have you here. He works in Lyle Jameson's booth, and so we had lots of fun there. Good stuff. Oh, and Joaquin was a demonstrator at SWAT. I didn't get to see all of that one, but I saw the piece you made. Excellent, excellent. You just can't see everything out there, can you? All right. So, where is it? Where is it? Oh, I'm losing them. I'm losing them. Come on, get over here. Dave has got the same idea as me. What tools did I find at SWAT? Well, I found a lot of stuff, but I only bought a couple of things. So, what I want to tell you about today, the subject of this session, is I want to show off some of the stuff I bought at SWAT, brought home. Maybe do a little testing. I've got a piece of wood on the lathe to maybe try some things out on. But let's start out with a couple of things coming up here. I've got a slide with no date here. Very handy. I do these Woodturning Tool Talk live stream sessions every other Friday with a little bit of a quirk to it. And the next one is 2 weeks from today, which I'm not sure what day that is. I didn't fill it in, but add 2 weeks to today and you'll find me here again. And another thing that I do is Todd and I do a monthly sharing session. And some months it's on his live stream day and some months it's on mine. Next week is that sharing session, and it's September 6th. It's on Todd's live stream slot, which is 2:30 p.m. Central. So to get that, you can subscribe to either of our websites. And I've got if I can get my act together, I've got a QR code for mine right here. Oh, sorry, Todd. We'll put it over my face instead. If you go to my website and subscribe, you can find it. And I'll show you around there in a minute. Or if you go to Todd's website and subscribe, you'll get the Zoom link. This is a Zoom session where you can ask questions, share ideas, or show off a piece of your work. And we're always excited to see what everyone's up to. Lots of ideas floating around at these sessions. You really ought to be there. You'll love it. It's a good place to be. Absolutely. So after that is Todd on his live stream day 2 weeks from then, 2:30 p.m. Central. And you don't want to subscribe on my website to that one. Right. You want to subscribe to Todd's website right there, woodturningtoolstore.com. And maybe he'll put it in the chat for you so you can click on it a little bit easier. So that'll be fun. And I'm going kind of chronologically here, I think. Then about a week after that, Todd's going to be in Colorado. And I will be too at the Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium. Here's the website for that to sign up. It's real easy to remember, rmwoodturningsymposium.com. It's a great symposium. And yeah, let's go have a look at things. Here's my website, and this will show you a little bit about some of the other stuff I'm going to talk about. You can find my upcoming IRDs, video rentals. Oh, well, I just made a change this morning. Let's see. There it is. Vendor showcase. And Rocky Mountain is not on here. Here's Rocky Mountain. If you go to that rmwoodturningsymposium.com, looks like they've got some new stuff this year. Lunches and a rotation on Friday. That'll be lots of fun. So good deal. Lots of fun stuff there. And that's Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium, rmwoodturningsymposium.com. Good place to be. I'll be there. Todd will be there. A few of the other vendor showcase folks will be there, such as Joe Fleming and who else goes to that one? I think that might be it for vendor showcase. And about 2 weeks after Rocky Mountain, I'm going to be back here and here. I'm going to be doing a online class on ornaments with finials, and I may do a sea urchin. I know sea urchins are kind of hard to get right now, and you can sign up for that on my website. I went over there just a second ago, and that's over here. You can find my website, and well, I didn't mean to click there, but since I did, there's vendor showcase. Let's go back. Okay, here you have my capsule box, which is the online class that I did a couple of weeks ago, right before SWAT, and the upcoming one in October, and some other things, such as coming up on my planned agenda is vendor showcase. And you can click the picture and it'll take you to the registration page. It's a Zoom meeting. It's me, Joe Fleming, Todd at Woodturning Tool Store, Vicki Jordan with John Jordan Woodturning Tools, Lyle Jameson, and Steve Worcester, turningwood.com. And we're all going to do some fun stuff. So here's one of the things I'm going to do. Let's get me over here. We like to do collaborations and then auction them during the session for charity. And what I'm going to do this year is when I was at Todd and Shelly's place just last couple days ago, I got a pumpkin box that Todd started, and he didn't quite finish the lid. He's finished the box, and I'm going to make a lid for it. And I'm thinking a witch's hat on the pumpkin. I might have to put some face on it, though. I don't know. I'm not good at faces. But yeah, a witch's hat lid for the pumpkin. Stay tuned. It'll be fun. And that's going to be one of the several items that we will auction off there for a charity of some kind. This year, the charity is the Kiwanis Club in Lyle's area that does stuff for kids. So the kind of the holiday theme and the Halloween theme, we wanted to we wanted to support some children this time. So that's Sunday, October 19th. And we've got, where do we have it? Oh, I don't have the link. Hopefully, Todd will drop it in there, the link to Vendor Showcase. But you can find it by going to my website. And my website link is here. So you can find my website. You can find Vendor Showcase on my website and everyone else's. I'm not doing too well with this, all this stuff today, am I? All right. And okay, here's the fun part that everybody likes about these live streams. First, let's go back and see what we got in the comments. Please do ask questions in the comments. Tell us where you're from. Say hello to everyone. Oh, Michael bought some tools for me. Yes, we always like that. Oh, yay. We've got the princess on board today. If you haven't been to any of these symposiums, you'll probably recognize we've got Mary Alice is the princess. Shelley, Todd's wife Shelley, is the goddess. I am the queen. And Cindy Navarro is the empress. So we had royalty at dinner a couple of times. And there's Joe. He'll be doing John Jordan tools at Rocky Mountain. And there's John. Is Mike going to be there? Mike, OB, chip in if you're going to be at Rocky Mountain. We know Joe's going to be at Rocky Mountain, and we always look forward to seeing everybody. We do the vendor showcase because we like each other and we like working together. Oh, and here's Lyle. Maybe you can chip in with whether anyone's going to represent you at the symposium. Oh, and here's Phil from England. Yeah, I love to see all these people from everywhere. Todd's got the vendor showcase link there on YouTube. So yeah, find us by going to my website or Todd's or Joe's. And yeah, the best part about SWAT was getting to see everyone and talk. So Richard, nice to see you there too. Okay, here's the scoop. OB is not going to be at Rocky Mountain. He's going to Mid-Atlantic. So if anyone's going there, you can see him there. All right. So you know why I had this slide up about the capsule box. I did this demo online about 2 weeks ago, week before SWAT. And here is the box I made in the session. Oh, and by the way, it's hot in Texas at SWAT. And look what the heat did to my fingernails. Man, I never knew it was that bad. Okay, courtesy of Shelley. So I made this box in that online class, the capsule box with inlay. It's got an inlay on the top that is visible. Let's get a little closer here. Visible from the inside. So this is I call it a picture frame style inlay. It's framed on both sides of the lid. And then I put, to get a better grain match, I put an insert in the box to create the tenon and mortise overlap in the box. And then this started as a full diameter piece, and the bit from the middle made another inlay on the bottom of the box. So this is a triple inlay capsule box here. And I like to do a giveaway at these sessions. Let's just show off our, is that it right there? I think that's it. Show off our grain match on this box here. Not bad, not bad. Of course, you can get a good grain match without doing that, but this sort of maximizes everything. So what I'm going to do is do a giveaway. And what you're going to do to enter the drawing is type in #3inlay in the comments, whatever platform you're on. you type in #3 inlay, no spaces, but it's not case sensitive. And we're going to give away this box, which I made in the practice the day before. I always practice for my my sessions. So I made this one, and it's got an inlay on the top, shows through on the inside, inlay where the joint is, and I didn't do an inlay on the bottom, but you can have that if you want to put it back on a jam chuck on the lathe and do that yourself. So we're going to give away 2 things. Number 1 is this box, and number 2 is a link to watch the video of how to make this box. You can see this one's a little bit different style at the corners, but same process, completely the same process. So the first person to be drawn gets to pick if they're here. If they're not here, the first draw gets the box, and the second draw gets a copy of the, or not a copy, access to the video until for about 6 months. So here's what you got to do, just like Bob is doing. I'm not seeing anyone who got it wrong. This is a pretty easy one. Usually I try to make it difficult for y'all, but this one's an easy one. And this is, let's see, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Fred? There it is. It's 3 as in the number 3 inlay. So do it again. And you can't do more than one entry and just get more chances to win. The computer's too smart for that. So you want to do that right there, just like that. And that'll get you entered in the drawing. We'll do this drawing at about the top of the hour. So, all right, so let's get down to the fun part. What did I get at SWAT? We'll get back to talking about the giveaway in a little while. So what did I get at SWAT? I got a couple of things. You know, I saw a lot of stuff, but I didn't really buy much stuff. One of the things I got is some little measuring devices made by Johnny Tolley, and there's 3 sizes. Let's move out a bit. I'm gonna have to go back here. Okay, 3 sizes, and the way it works is your wall thickness is shown to you here under the knob. And what's great about these, as opposed to the different kinds of calipers that I might normally use, this is one of my favorite ones. It doesn't work very well on video, but I like it. This one here, it's direct read, and it shows you like the wall thickness there in a direct readout, either inches or millimeters. And this is an inch one. When it's closed all the way, the pointer's at the bottom line. The problem with this is it won't reach into a tight opening. So if I wanted to measure my wall right here, this one, really the first accurate reading it makes is down there, because what you want is this leg of the caliper to be 90 degrees to the wall right where you're measuring. But this little guy, even with that small hole there, and this is about a 2.5, 2.25 diameter piece, I can get a measurement right there on my wall thickness. So pretty darn good. And if I was to take a kind of a normal sized hollow form like this one, and I wanted to measure this wall thickness, well, we've got this little one, which will get right to the edge, right next to the opening there. But it'll only go in about this far. And you can see this is not a finished piece, it's a rough out. So the walls are still thick at this point. Then this one here, it'll actually go to the edge on the piece on the hollow form with this big of a hole. What you're limited by is the arm to pointer distance has to be approximately equal to the hole diameter. And this one will go in that far, right? And then, of course, the bigger one will get me, it won't do out at the hole because it's got to be to here before it's actually 90 degrees to the place I'm measuring. But it'll get all the way over to here. And then we can pick up from there with our figure 8 style caliper that'll get in further, and then I have other calipers that'll get into the bottom and all. But so this set of calipers complements all of my other calipers, different types of calipers, and that's pretty cool. I love stuff like that. Okay, so how are we doing here with the comments? Milt, you have to just put number or hashtag 3 inlay. Don't put your name in there. It's got to be just the entry thing, okay? And if anyone has an actual wood turning question, please do ask. And oh, Duncan from the UK, nice to have you here, and thank you so much for being interested. That's great. All right, so if you have an actual question, please do put it in here, and if I don't catch it, it's because the questions or the comments just keep scrolling up and I might miss it. All right, here's a question. I'll give an example of what's the max diameter of the chuck on my lathe and when did I purchase it? All right, we're a little bit off topic here, but I am happy to mention that this chuck, let's go where I can show it a little better. Is that it? Yeah, okay, that is it. We'll move over to show the chuck. This is a Vicmark VM150, and it's got a confusing and difficult to use feature where it will allow you to either use it like a key chuck or like a lever chuck. I just use it as a key because that switching back and forth is pretty confusing, even for me. All right, so these calipers, we had several people asking about the calipers. I got them from Johnny Tolley at SWAT. Let's see, who was selling them? Michael Hunter had them in his booth. Johnny Tolley is one of the SWAT people, and I really don't know where I can find an actual link to it. And so, Mr. Lathes and Knives, I didn't actually mention it because I don't exactly know where I can get them. Oh, Todd, do you know? Okay, Johnny Tolley. Yeah, you'll have to contact him directly. And if you can't figure it out, can't find Johnny or whatever, email me. And here is somewhere is my email address. You can email me, Cindy at cindydroza.com anytime, and I'll help you get connected with him. I do need to find a link for it. I was kind of just all excited about it, but I forgot that that I was going to get a lot of questions about where to find those. And that rough hollow form that I showed, I did that with the Lyle Jameson captured hollowing system. and I either use the laser or a camera. And I think since that's just a rough out, I usually use a laser for a rough out, and don't plan on getting very close of a wall thickness or very accurate. And then I'd use the camera to get the final wall thickness. So the Vicmark chuck here is a VM 150. It's bigger than your average Vicmark chuck. The jaws are Stuart Batty jaws, which you can't get anymore, but you can get these shark jaws that are pretty much the same thing. What I like about it is that it's deeper, and you can see in there that the bottom of the vessel is down here in the chuck, and that allows me to have a big gripping point and still a thin wall so it'll dry faster. So also this direct read caliper, that's where did it go? This one. That's this one here. I'll get back over here. This comes from Premier Gauges. They were at SWAT, and I didn't realize they had a bunch of these. They have this one, which, really, for this vessel size, this bowl, it's not going to go very far down. But they have some bigger ones, and they have one that'll do the bottom, and they have this tiny little one here that will do. Let me get out this holoform, and here's a box shape I often do. So this one, how far will it get in to? It'll give you an accurate reading, probably right about there, and so that's pretty good. And then it'll go down further, like down to here. Or I use this one on this style of box, and it'll get right to the rim on this shape. So these are good. Premier Gauges, I believe, is the company name. Okay. A Hong Kong company startup. Don't know about any of that. Premier Gauges, I believe, is a U.S. owned company. It's just a guy that does it, and I really don't know any more about it, but you can find them online. Where did I get the Vicmark? I've had it for about 15 years, and I probably got it from Craft Supplies. I probably got it from Craft Supplies, and I probably got it at SWAT or at Rocky Mountain. Here we are. Oh, Eva Jo, you, I didn't catch that right away. You need to type in #3 inlay. There you are. Very good. Okay. I'm looking for this question. How do you avoid Paduk staining lighter woods when using as inlays when finishing with oil or sealer? The only way I know to do that is a real pain in the neck. But here it is. Let's say I'm going to do an inlay this is a little easier to see. Like this one, we'll get closer. I'm going to get closer and then over here. So if I brush sanding sealer, and I got this tip from Kurt Theobald. He uses lacquer sanding sealer because it dries really fast and it doesn't stain the wood. And he's planning on putting a top coat on that will go over lacquer. So he puts lacquer sanding sealer on the whole thing, and then he sands with one grit, like let's say 240. Blows all the dust off, reapplies the sanding sealer, sands with 400. Blows all the dust off, reapplies the sanding sealer, sands with 600. So what he's basically doing is he doesn't ever sand down below where the wood has the sanding sealer soaked into it. And if you use a diluted lacquer sanding sealer, that works pretty well. I'm sure the shellac-based ones would also work. Don't know about CA glue. Another thing that works is stabilize your Paduke, like with cactus juice, and then it doesn't react that way as much. Oh, KK, thank you very much. This is premiergauges.com for that. That's for the little C-shaped direct read caliper. Okay. And if I reverse the Premier gauge, will I get closer to the edge? Let's see about that. If I reverse it, I don't think so, because if I'm using, well, I want to get as close to the opening as I can, so I'd be using this one and reverse it like this way. No, that won't get me in any better. Quite the opposite. It doesn't get it in any better. Not really sure what you meant by reverse it, but I've tried various ways to use these and other calipers and haven't really gotten any better with them. So I'm thinking the answer to that is no. Todd is talking about Flitz metal polish, and that's some stuff that I believe it was Pat Carroll who told me about it. He uses it on his lathe bed to keep the rust down and keep the lathe bed nice and smooth. And that is not what I use for the lathe bed, because number one, my bed is stainless, but it might just be not so much the bed, but other parts of the lathe, like the tailstock ram, or I don't know where else you might have rust on the lathe. So Flitz metal polish is a rust remover. I use paste wax on my bed because I don't need to remove any rust. So yeah, good point. You can't read it if it's reversed, but you can, if you want to, if you're interested in doing that, you could take it and make your own little marks on the other side, to scratch some marks on the other side, if you wanted to do that. I didn't find any advantage to that, but there may be some forms, some shapes that you can get in better by turning it over. So yeah, that's an option. You got to have just a whole bunch of calipers. All right, so here's something else I got. A couple other things. One I wanted to spend a little more time on. I got some a CA glue, which we always need. I'm thinking more CA glue. Let's get over here. And I stopped by the Starbond booth, and they have a flexible CA now, and that supposedly will give you a joint that's not so brittle. I have yet to try it. If any of you have any advice on what flexible CA is good for or not, please post it in the comments, or come to our sharing session on the 6th of September and let everybody know. But I'm going to try it. What they did say was that if you use it for inlay, it's not going to polish up as clear, because it's got some stuff in it. And yeah, Flitz is also polish, so it'll make it bright and shiny. Don't know if it'll make it slippery, which on the bed of my lathe, I'm looking for slippery. And that's why I use paste wax, because I use this stuff. Okay, while we're on the subject, I use this stuff, butcher's wax, which is the slipperiest paste wax I've ever seen. But, lots of stuff works. And I'm not going to say that the way I do it's the only way to go. So another thing, and I have tried this before, but I liked it so much I got another bottle of it while I was at SWAT. Odorless CA. And it's kind of nice because it really is odorless. It really does work. I used a whole bottle of it stabilizing a bunch of Banksia pods a couple months ago, and it works just like regular thin CA, except that it doesn't smell bad. So now, why would you not use odorless CA? It costs more, and if you're not going to have to smell it, maybe you don't care so much. Here's a good question. Do I prefer thick, medium, or thin CA? Depends on what I'm doing. Thin CA is good for stabilizing, like the rim of a Banksia pod, or um, soaking in to fill a crack with sawdust or powdered inlay stuff or something like that, because it'll wick into a fine crack. It's not gap filling at all. So if I need gap filling for whatever I'm doing, then I'll be using a medium, or I have a medium thick that I use, and thick is for something like gluing onto a waste block or something like that, where you just really want a glue joint. You don't want it to soak in, because the thin stuff, if you're trying to make a glue joint out of it, it really doesn't work because it soaks into both parts and there's nothing left to glue them together. Okay, here's a good tip. Flexible CA would be what you would use for gluing pen tubes. Yeah, good point, because you like to have a little flexibility between the wood and the metal, and you want some gap filling, perhaps, although I never really liked using CA for pen tubes. But if you're going to use it, then the flex sounds like a good way to go. And odorless, yes, agreed. So where else would you use flexible CA? I'm not really sure. Uh, Charles just posted that about pen tubes. And so that makes me think, oh, yeah, any other time I might be going to be putting a metal part to a wood part, but I don't really use CA for structural adhesive. And actually the Starbond guy pretty much backed that up. He said CA is not considered a structural adhesive. So use it for gap filling, like crack filling, use it for inlay, like when I do opals, I can put little powder around and drip the CA in there. And okay, so Kirk says the Parfix CA is odorless and slow setting. And that would be this here, which I also use. And because it's slow setting CA, it's going to be easier to use as a finish. And then OB was just saying something about, okay, thin flexible for a finish on pen. So I guess if you're using it for a finish and you don't want the finish to crack because the wood moves, yeah, good idea. Okay, so Joe likes it for crushed stone inlay because the wood wants to move and the stone doesn't. I guess as long as the stone is what you're polishing up, you wouldn't notice that maybe the inlay or the CA didn't polish up as clear. If I was just using it for a clear inlay, then maybe I wouldn't use it because they said it wasn't quite as clear. But for stone, yes, good point. Good point. Okay, we're off the track again, but I don't mind that. What do I like for pen tubes? Gorilla Glue, or that's a brand name. Gorilla Glue is a brand name of polyurethane adhesive, and that's the stuff that foams up. And I found that when I used epoxy and CA, they would not fill the gap entirely around the pen tube. So you would end up with it adhered really well on one side of the tube, and then it might crack off on the other side of the tube, which some woods didn't survive well that way. But the Gorilla Glue goes into the gap between the tube and the wood and then it foams and expands so it fills the gap. So I had much better luck with that. However, it foams up a whole bunch, and it can, number one, push your tube out of the blank if you're not careful, and number two, get inside the tube, which is a drag. And I never had any luck with those, what do you call that thing that you put in there to try to level out the blanks? I never liked the finish I got on those. So I would take my tubes, and cut a thin slice of potato, like, oh, I don't have anything like that around here. About a quarter of an inch, 6 millimeters thick, a regular white potato, and then stick the tube down on the potato on one end and then flip it over and do the other end. And then that means the hole in the end of the tubes is filled with potato. Potato is wet, which is good because it helps to kick the Gorilla Glue. And then by the time the Gorilla Glue is cured, the potato has dried and shrunk and just falls right out. So that was what I did. I haven't actually made pens much lately. Oh, and there was a comment or a question about accelerator. And I have heard that accelerator will make a glue joint more brittle and less strong, meaning CA accelerator and CA joints. And the question was, do I use accelerator? And the answer is most of the time, because I live in a very dry climate, and CA kind of needs a little bit of humidity to kick off properly, especially thick. You can't really get thick to cure around here without a little bit of humidity. Okay, Mercury Flex for a pen finish. Okay, well, that's cool. And 3408 for finish. Yeah, I've used that's the stuff that I just showed, the Parfix. Oh yes. Play-Doh in the tubes, wax in the tubes, potato in the tubes is what I always used. Apple in the tubes, except the apples have some sugar in them, they're a little bit messier. And Glue Boost is another one. And its accelerator doesn't cause the white bloom or the foaming up, nor does the accelerator for Star Bond. And both of those will work fine if you needed to kick your Parfix a little faster. So really, it's the modern accelerators work pretty well, and they don't bloom or foam. Glue Boost, yay, as a pen finish. Okay, cool. All right, so I have something else I got at SWAT, and let's get over where we can see it. Let me get this out of the way here. I got this half round bar from Woodturning Tool Store, and maybe Todd can post a link to it in the chat while we're here. What it is well, like the description, it's a half round bar, and it's got a screw on the end where you can put a replaceable cutter, and it can also be swiveled around. So if I wanted to put the cutter at a different angle, depending on where I was planning to be cutting with it, or if I wanted to cut a little more aggressively with the pointy end, like for hollowing something, I want to test it out. This is a single bevel cutter. There are two ways I can use this tool. If I have it with the rounded side down, then I can change the angle of presentation and get a shear scraping angle. If I have it flat side down and cutting bevel up, then I can put it on a flat tool rest, like a box rest, and set it right to center height. And and it will just drive along. Now I can put other cutters on here too. I should have gotten all of them because he has a number of interesting cutters. And here's one. I use this cutter quite often for hollowing, and it's got a double bevel on it. So bevel top and bottom, what you might call a negative rake scraper. So I can use this one also, and I can use this one. I can just turn it over. I don't even have to turn the cutter over really, but I probably would because I'd want to sharpen it fairly frequently. These cutters are made from, I forget what it is, but something a little bit harder than your average M2. So it's not 10V, but it's harder than a regular high-speed steel. So what I want to do is do some experimenting with this tool, and kind of like Bob, interested to see how it works and what it's like if it cuts when it's flat or when you have the rounded side down with a double bevel cutter and a single bevel cutter. So yeah, let's try it. Oh, okay, here's what the stuff is. It's called T1 high-speed steel. And I don't know, I'm not a metallurgist, but I know that it's going to hold an edge a little longer than regular high-speed steel. And good advice, Frank. AZ Carbide also has cutters, and theirs are usually carbide cutters, and they do have some double bevel ones. And if I really had a little more time, I might be saying, okay, well, let's try a single bevel steel. Let's try a double bevel steel. Let's try some different bevel angles, and let's try some carbide single and double bevel, and let's try some different presentation angles, and we'll see what kind of finish we get. So we could try some different things and just see what to compare the different things to. So first thing I want to do here is I've got this bowl on my lathe. Is that all the way out? There's all the way in, there's all the way out. We'll go all the way out. So I've got this bowl here. I think I'd like to zoom out just a bit so we don't cut the wings of the bowl off. And we'll just give it a quick focus. Okay. So this is a roughed out bowl. I have cleaned up the bottom side, cleaned up the chuck tenon. I made this rough out 10 or 15 years ago, so it's dry. But on the inside here, it's not trued up at all. So the first thing I really need to do is true up the inside. Oh, so yeah, Duncan's mentioning that Sorby has a similar tool with some other ends on them. Yeah, and probably Simon Hope does, and etc. And Todd can answer this better than I can, but I believe I saw a double beveled, smaller size cutter that's in his lineup. But you can always put your own double bevel on it if you want to. And T1, thank you, Aaron. High tungsten content. Tungsten content or tungsten carbide content, and how much? So, because tungsten itself, I don't know if it really is harder or if it's some other alloying property. Large and regular teardrop, single bevel. The hollower cutter has a double bevel. That's the one I saw over there. He also has something that looks like it would be set up to cut chuck tenons or something like that. All right, so Valerie, thank you for the reminder. I want to just make a little mention here that I am doing a giveaway, and pretty soon. I'm running out of time here, but what we're going to do is I'm going to give away a capsule box. This one. One person gets the box and one person gets the video on how I make the box. It's got an inlay on the top, and it's got the inlay showing through on the inside. another inlay around to make a nice grain match for the joint right there, and no inlay on the bottom. The video shows putting an inlay on the bottom, and this one comes with its little piece ready to go, but I didn't do that on this practice box. This is unsanded, unfinished. You can finish it yourself if you want to. So the first person to be drawn gets their choice of 6 months access to the video or this box. The second person, if the first person is here, if the first person is not here, they just get the box, and the second person gets the video. Okay, I just had to decide on something, and that's what I decided on. All right, so have we got some comments? All right, and this is what you do is you put in the hashtag 3 inlay, because that box has 3 inlays in it. So fun stuff. Oh, I'm going to get rid of all of these little things here. There we are. I'm going to draw at the top of the hour, and just to go over things again a little bit. Oh, let's go back here. Put me over here, and then we'll go over here. You can find on my website all of the videos that I have available as rentals now. I've got some, like the capsule box, will be there. Oh, what have we done here? Here we are. Like the capsule box should be up here as a 6-month rental from now, or from close to now. And then I also have my lidded container series and a few that I'm getting ready to do. And on my homepage here, you can see the capsule box is here. And if you sign up, you get the video access. Vendor Showcase is a great fun time. And you can find Vendor Showcase sign up on my website. You can also rent my videos from this page. So another thing to point out is the Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium, rmwoodturningsymposium.com. And I'll be there in about 3 weeks, I believe it is. So I hope to see y'all there. And we're going to get our giveaway going after a while. But I did want to do a little bit of turning. I wanted to test out this half round bar thing. First of all, I have it on a fairly long handle. This is about a, I don't know, 12, 13 inch handle. And this tool's a scraper. So if I'm overhanging the tool rest, I want there to be 5 times as much on the back end, the handle end, as I have overhanging the tool rest support point. So I've put a reasonably long handle on it. And if I find it to be grabby, I'll put a longer handle on it. Also, the tool is heavy and the handle is heavy, and that's an advantage here. So, turn on Chicago. I wasn't there. That's why you missed me. I don't go to most of those things. Aaron's got a little description in the comment about alloys and things and carbides, and we won't get into that right now, but I think that's cool. The box, I will sign it as a demo piece, which means, yes, you get my autograph, but I don't give it a serial number or a finish or consider it a finished piece. It's a demo piece. It's not sanded at all. Capitals don't matter in the drawing. No, it's not case sensitive. I used to think it was, and I made everybody do case sensitive, but it isn't. It isn't. So yeah, so that's cool. And we'll do the drawing a little while. I'm going to go over time today because I got to talking about other things, and I really wanted to try out the half round bar. So the first thing I have to do here is true up the surface of this bowl, and I'm going to do it with my 40/40 grind bowl gouge. I'm going to start with the lathe on 0, And I'm going to put my face shield on, even though it's probably going to trash the audio. We'll crank up the speed a little bit here. I'll answer your questions in a minute. What I'd like to do is get a cut going here, just to true up this bowl, and a little more speed makes this a lot easier, this cut. Partly because I won't have to slow my feed rate down if I speed up the spindle. I'm just going down the wall here. A little more speed, a little more speed. Sure, a little more speed. Just going down the wall to clean it up more or less so that we can have some surface to do some scraping on. And you can see me make some actual chips here. This gouge would really prefer less tool rest overhang. And my solution to that usually would be to grab a larger diameter gouge. It's starting to chatter. You can hear that ringing sound there. And I'm slowing my feed rate down because as I get to the smaller diameter in the middle, the wood, the surface of the wood isn't moving as fast. Looks like my tool rest moved a little bit. Okay, so now we have a reasonably trued up surface. I think somebody asked me about the wood. Okay, here's the shank diameter of the half round bar. It's looks like 3/4 or about 19 millimeters. And it goes into a handle with a 5/8 hole. It's turned down on the shank there. All right, so what I want to do is first put on the shear scraping cutter. I think there was another question. Oh, here we are. Here we are. The wood on my lathe is it's a box elder burl piece with the natural edge, and box elder is a maple. The way it's oriented in the log is this is the bark side of a round burl cap, and the tree is either growing, the tree is growing across the bed of the lathe. So the pith of the tree is back over here someplace out of the picture. But it was cut out of a burl. It's not actually a log piece. So what else do we have for questions here? Bowl gouge question. What type of bowl gouges do I prefer? And do I ever use carbide tip gouges? I guess the short answer to both of those, I'll give you a short answer here. Excuse me. A carbide, the only carbide gouges I've used are the Mike Hunter tools, which are not really carbide tipped gouges. They are carbide cup cutters that can be presented to the wood the way a gouge flute would be presented. So I haven't actually used an actual carbide tipped gouge. What I prefer is Doug Thompson's 10V steel gouges. They happen to be V flute. I find a V flute to be easy to use. I find a parabolic flute to be easy to use. Um, I, I don't know. I like a 40-40 grind for most of the stuff I do. That's not the gouge. That's the grind. You can put a 40-40 grind on any gouge. So, question about handles and things. This is the Todd Raines Tools modular handle. I could use another handle. This is a good handle for this because this is a heavy tool and it's a heavy handle, and I could put a little bit of steel shot in here too if I felt like it, although I didn't. Another question about the wood here is, let's see, was it green? Yes. 15 years ago when I roughed out this burl, it was green. I roughed it out to a thicker wall than I wanted. Like, I think it was about 3/4, about 19 millimeters. And then once it had dried and distorted a little bit, I trued up the outside, the bottom side, and redid the chucking tenon. Gripped it in my chuck. The wood's dry now, and I just took off I don't know, 1/8 inch, 3 millimeters of it. And oh, hey, here's a friend I met at SWAT. Jake, yay! He's a live streamer and a YouTuber, and he does Saturday morning cartoons on Saturday morning. Imagine that. So yeah, check him out. I'm going to hopefully be there this Saturday. Carbide or resin blanks and other fun casting stuff. All right, so where are we? I'm going to put the cutter on the half round bar with the bevel. Let's see if I can show you where the bevel is. The bevel on the tool, it was on the platform with this side up. So there's a sharpening burr on the top side there. And I'm going to tighten down the screw, leaving the cutter sticking out past the end of the bar. That seems to make sense to me. And then I can, with the round side down, I can do some what you might call shear scraping. Oh, let's do the wide view first. And that would be, okay, so I can present the tool to the wood with it horizontal, level. I can also rotate it. Now what I've got is kind of a shear angle where the tool edge is at an angle to the rotation of the wood. I guess that's how you'd say it. And I think I'll get a better finish that way. We're going to try a couple of different things, though, and see where we really do get a better finish, because I'm curious. I don't really know yet. I'm setting it up to, I want the cutter approximately on center line, and I've got to lower my tool rest a little because of this larger diameter bar. I'm going to, I'm not going to just hold it level. I'm going to raise the handle a bit above level because this is a single bevel scraper, and I think that it'll be more tame that way. Here's a question. Why would I add steel shot to the handle? To make it heavier. And because when the wood is pushing on the edge and you're trying to take a bunch of material away, a heavier tool is going to stay put on the tool rest and dampen vibration better. Steel shot, rather than just like a solid steel handle, is going to dampen vibration a little bit. Oh, Todd mentioned it. in his comment right here about that, to add weight to balance out the tool. I don't know. I've done that when I have a real large scraper with a long handle or a large diameter bowl gouge. Your choice. Try it and see what you think. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to I'll give you this view to start with. We're going to turn the lathe speed up to something that feels safe, and I'm going to hold it with the handle above the tip, and I've got the tool level. And here's something I'm feeling. When the tool is held level and I'm cutting on the middle of the bar support, it's really nice. When I touch the wood over here, where the support on the tool rest is the middle of the bar, where the screw is, I'm overhanging my support and it gets a little grabby. So I might cut on the end here. And now I want to do what will tame that grabbiness. I rolled the tool over and now I'm kind of shear scraping with it. And I'm going to see whether we get a better cut this way. Well, it is a little grabby there. So I think if I'm going to shear scrape, I think it will make somebody feel better if I move my tailstock away. I wasn't in any danger, but just to make you feel better. All right, so I've got this cutter like this, and I think I will turn it so I can get contact over here on the large radius without being away from the support point. Let's see how that works. Another thing is, let's just see if we can get a view of the finish. Kind of hard to say, but I think I got a little bit better finish out here where I was shear scraping. I'm going to try again here. Now I have a really better shear angle and a smaller or a larger radius. So I think that's going to give me an even better finish. That's a pretty good finish. I can't complain about that. Now it's competition. Is a steel tool with a double bevel. To be perfectly fair, I probably need to put the double bevel cutter on the half round bar. I will do that in a minute. But we're going to just try this one and see what it does for me, mostly how it feels, because the half round bar cutter was giving me a nice finish. And that one felt a little less grabby and less aggressive, and maybe it's dull. If I can't feel a burr on the edge, it's probably dull. And yeah, this one's not as sharp as it should be. What about this one? Smaller version of the same tool. And I suppose I could use this scraper as a shear scraper, putting it up on a corner like that. I probably could. I haven't really done that much. So that was fine. It seems like they're all working pretty well. Next thing I'd like to do is try my double beveled half round bar cutter. And I'm going to put it on so that it overhangs the bar, just so that this bar doesn't get in the way of the cut. And I've got my handle up a bit, and I'm going to roll the tool over to get some shear scraping angle. And it feels nice. It's non-aggressive, and it's making a good cut. So yeah, that seems to work. Now if I had no up angle and I have the double bevel cutter and I'm cutting with the edge overhanging the support, and yeah, it's a little grabby. So I'm going to say that if I want this tool with the round side down, I want to roll it over a little bit so that I'm not overhanging the support point. And now there's something else I wanted to try, and this follows along with some of the comments I'm seeing in the comments. The flat's supposed to be down on the tool rest, and maybe I'm not going to say supposed to be. I'm going to say that's another option. So I'm going to take this off, this chuck off, and this piece of wood off, and put on something else. Because here's the thing I think that flat bar would be really good for. That I could set it to where the center of my box with a box rest finished out really right on center with no bump. So I'm going to take this off of here now and put on a little guy. Question, how would I sharpen the cutters? I would sharpen it on a platform set to my angle of choice. I'm going to try this one here to start with. This is a little open bowl. It's a maple burl. So Todd's got a bit of advice. He would use a double bevel cutter on the flat bar. Okay, and I'm set up for that. I don't know whether I would maybe want the single bevel cutter. Not sure if I would or wouldn't want it. We'll put on a smaller tool rest also. And here is, where is it? Here's the inside of this bowl. And I've got my cutter on the bar. And being it's a double bevel, I can just flip it over. Technically, I would want to put a sharp edge on it, sharpening it in this position so that I got a burr on the top side, but I'm guessing it'll probably work pretty well just like this. And we'll see how we like it. So I'm just holding this level, and I want the tool rest up a bit. This wood that I'm using here is maple burl. It's just a little bowl that I probably used in another demo. So here, with the flat, let me get that out of here and we'll get so you can see what I'm doing here. The flat side's down on the tool rest, and it's really nice to use. It's not grabby like that other one, like the round side. When I have the cut overhanging the support point, that's pretty nice. And I can drive around one way or the other way. I suppose, I could get some shear scraping action by rolling it up to where this bottom corner's on the tool rest. I suppose. I'm not sure I would care to do that or want to or even not want to. So I'm getting a little bit of tear out, which I could probably fix by sharpening it and having the burr up. But what I wanted to try out was with this flat tool and a box rest. So box rest is just a flat piece of steel, and I can put it inside the box a little if I want to. Oh, I have to have it out. I've got to have the support back behind where the cutter is. So I can't get my tool rest maybe as close to the inside the work as I might have wanted to. But this will be great. And what I'm really wanting here is, I don't think that's going to work. I'm wanting the bar is flat on the rest, and I'm going to set it to center height. And maybe what I do here is I angle it so that I get more support. And I need to raise it up. We're trying to raise it up so that I'm right on center line. And I should be able to just drive it around. And I'm feeling like it's overbalanced. So I'm putting a shorter handle on it. This handle's not weighted. The bar's pretty heavy, but the handle's not heavy. I talked about putting shot in the handle, but I didn't on this one. Okay, so that feels now like I can hold it down on the tool rest pretty easily. And I'm below center. I'll show you how I know here. If it's below center, you see a little cylinder in the very center. If it's above center, you see kind of a, oh, this doesn't even work on this lathe. The tool rest is too short. So I guess I'm not getting anywhere with this great idea. Nope, I'm not. All right, so nice idea, but this tool rest is too short for my lathe, and I want to raise it up enough to get the tool cutting right on the center line, but it's not going to get high enough. So what I'm going to do now is call the experiment off for the moment, and I'm going to draw some winners. That could be fun. A couple of questions here. Putting the cutter on the bottom or the top, the difference is that the cutter basically has to go on the top, or it has to go on the flat side, because you're not going to screw the cutter on the rounded side. So the cutter's got to go on the flat side, but the tool can be used with the flat side down or the flat side up. And when you have the curved side down, you can vary how much rotation you have and still support it. I would sharpen the cutter in the orientation I was planning to use it. So if I was going to use it with the flat side up, I would sharpen it on the platform this way. If I was going to use it the other way, and I probably could just, let's say the burr's on this side, I probably can just turn it over. And now the burr is on the other side. And now I'm going to go down and the burr is on the top side again. Now, I am not running this tool through all of its options. There's a ton of options with an adjustable tool like this. I can have this cutter swiveled around at any number of positions to get the part of the edge that I want contacting the wood, depending on the shape I'm trying to work. And I wouldn't probably try to hog out with the narrow point, but if I needed to get into the bottom of a narrow box, sure, that would be good. And though this looks like a huge tool, I could very handily use it for a little box like this, because it'll get in there, at least for parts of it. So nice tool, well made, lots of possibilities, and I've really only just scratched the surface with that. What is that? Okay, so Todd would use the double bevel cutter. Yeah. And how about trying my double bevel curb scraper? That would work too. Just another option. The double beveled scraper that he's referring to would be this one. And this is a fixed scraper. You can't swivel the cutter around to get to a different orientation. It doesn't have that shear scraping option of having a round bar that'll support the tool in different rotation angles. Although I could put it up on the bottom corner and shear scrape with it, I generally don't. I sharpen this in the orientation I'm going to use it. So for the inside, I'll sharpen it this way up. And for the outside, I'll sharpen it this way up. And yeah, it will do a lot of the same jobs. Oftentimes we find that numerous tools will do the same job. All right. So let's do a drawing. Here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to put up some stuff here. Tell you about what we're drawing for one thing, and I'd like to run down some of what else is happening just right quick. You can see me and Todd together on a Zoom meeting where you can share everything you're doing, and we'll all share ideas. That would be next Friday, September 6th. Subscribe to either of our website email lists, and you'll get the Zoom link in your email. Todd is doing a live stream like this one in 3 weeks, I think it is. I'm doing one in 2 weeks from today. Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium, rmwoodturningsymposium.com. That's on the 27th through 29th here in Loveland, Colorado, my backyard. And I'll be there. Todd will be there. Joe Fleming will be there. And lots of other wonderful people will be there. Take a look at the lineup of demonstrators. Trent has done a fantastic job. What would that be? A couple weeks after that, after Rocky Mountain. I'm doing an online interactive Zoom demo to show how I do ornaments with finials. And we're going to talk about finials and making them and spindle cuts, but mostly how to put parts together and hollowing a globe. And the birdhouse is loads of fun. Some really fun cuts there and interesting finishes for ornaments, because ornaments can be playful and brightly colored. So that's on October 12th, and you can sign up on my website for that. Vendor showcase is a week later, October 19th, and I will be doing a live stream. I believe it's the day before this one, October 11th. I always seem to end up there. So on my website, you can find, I believe you can find, yeah. On my homepage, if you go to my website, cindydrozda.com, you can find the capsule box, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, that ornaments with finials sign up, vendor showcase, just click on the picture. And if you're interested in more of what I have to offer, I have some instructional videos out there for rent for a 6-month period. And Rocky Mountain, rmwoodturningsymposium.com. And what we're going to do now is we're going to give away some stuff. But I wanted to talk about what we're giving away here in case you joined kind of late. Here's what we do. Win either the box or the video to make the box. Access to the video for about 6 months. Here is the box. And what it is it's a triple inlay box. This one's made out of ash. I have an inlay in the top, that's walnut, and you can see the inlay show through on the inside, nicely finished and all, and it shows, the video shows how to do that. Then I put another inlay in to serve as the overlap for the mortise and tenon joint, and took the center of that out, parted it out, and on the video, I show how I made another inlay on the bottom out of that piece, like this one. So we've got a box there, and it's unsanded. It's a demo piece. I will autograph it, but it's unfinished and unsanded. It's not a gallery piece that you're going to get. And here is the cover page for the capsule box with a triple inlay. What else you get with this is drawings. Every one of my online classes, I make working drawings with dimensions if you want to follow them, or use them as proportions, or modify it completely, but just the anatomy of the project so you can understand how the parts fit together. And that's always a good thing. I also have videos for rent on my website. I just showed you that. All right, so enough stalling here now. Let's get to the fun stuff. The first winner gets to choose whether they want the box or the video. And we're going to get our giveaway thing here. We've got start collecting comments. So it's going to update. Oh, well, pretty good odds today. There's only 30 of them. Wow. I thought I saw a whole lot more than that in there. Get your entry in, and what you do is you type hashtag 3 inlay, not type 3, but hashtag 3 inlay. And if you're watching and you think you did it before, do it again in case this thing wasn't collecting the comments properly. That number seems off to me too. I'm pretty sure I saw a lot more than 30. So go ahead and enter again. You can't cheat on this and enter too many times. It knows better than that. So get your entries in. We'll give it a little bit. This is what you type in there. #3 inlay. And I'm gonna see if I can get somewhere else now. So this will be kind of fun because we really will mostly probably get the people that are right here. And Mary Alice, it shouldn't need a capital. It should not be case sensitive. Oh, you're going to keep me honest, aren't you, Ed? Did I ever make a drawing of that bee? I did, but I just haven't. I have a drawing of the bee, but I didn't make a nice, pretty one. It's still on my list, so maybe I'll have that ready for vendor showcase. All right, we've got, oh, this is more like it, 111 entries. I think that's a lot more like it. Okay, so get your entries in. We're going to give you a little bit of time here because I think the thing wasn't collecting the entries like it was supposed to. And then I'm going to make one drawing, and the person whose name comes up gets to choose whether they want the box or the video if they're here and answer within a couple minutes. If they don't answer, they get the box, and I try to find them. And if I can't find you, then I will give the item away another time. Oh, yay, Scott Hampton is here. I saw Scott at SWAT. Good deal. He was demonstrating out there. All right, are we ready? Are we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw somebody's name. So this is the first one. If you're here and you want to make a choice, you can. Okay, Dave Walter. Are you here, Dave? If you want to make a comment of whether you'd like the box or the video to make the box. And number 2 will get the choice other than Dave, or I'll get a hold of the 2 of you. But really, my feeling was, I want to know now. Dave said he wants the box. Okay. Where is it? Right here. Very good. So Dave gets the box, and I might need you to email me, Dave, so I have your address to send it. And now we're going to draw again, and this person gets access to the capsule box video for the rest of the 6-month period, which is about 6 months, because I think it was the 31st. Duncan Hutchinson. Congratulations, both Duncan and Dave. So Duncan, if you already paid for that class, I will send you another video, and I'm pretty sure I can find you on email, but it'll make it easy on me if you just send me an email. All right. Well, this is great. Always fun stuff. I enjoy giving things away, and my box is going to have a good home, and very good. So I think we're done, and we are well over time. I usually try to get these things wrapped up in an hour, and it's been over an hour and a half here. So I'm going to let y'all go, and thank you everyone so much for joining me for this rambling session. And congratulations to the winners, Dave and Duncan. I will see y'all in 2 weeks, or maybe I'll see you next Friday, hopefully. Bye-bye now.